All right. Thank you for tuning in to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast. I'm doing the 2022 readings for the collective. This is the reading for the collective. So this is not for a specific sign. This is for the collective as a whole. I'm recording now because as I was prepping everything and picking up the energy and stuff, so many things were coming to me. I'm like, let me start recording now before I forget some of this. So yeah, first things first. As for the podcast, my podcast listeners know, if you're new to this, if you're a new listener, I'm doing this as a video. I don't do videos as much anymore. I do them from time to time. But my podcast listeners already know that this is what I usually say. So, before I go any further, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Speaking of social media platforms, I will do my best to keep this under an hour because I plan to upload this video to YouTube, but also to Instagram as well. And Instagram has a thing with their videos for IGTV where they will not take it if it's more than an hour. So my goal is to keep this under an hour and do that. As for individual sign readings for 2022, those will be exclusive to the podcast. I'm not doing videos for those. I'm only doing a video for the collective for the 2022 reading. So I just want to be clear on that. So if you want to listen to the 2022 reading for your sign, I will start uploading those a little bit at a time every weekend. My goal is to do 2 to 4 every weekend. And I'll probably start that this weekend. I'll probably do maybe 2, today's Saturday, October 23rd. So I'll more than likely do 2 tomorrow at the minimum, 4 at the maximum. And then next weekend I'll do that. I'm trying to balance everything out because also I'm interviewing some guests on my show on the Conversations with KC segment and preparing to coordinate all of that. So I'm trying to do an even balance, but by the time I finish with the 2022 readings for each sign, they will be completed by the time 2022 gets here. So don't worry, all of that will be done. Okay, now let me go into this energy as well. As I was preparing the decks, one card that came out, and one deck that I'm using is the Angel Wisdom Tarot deck. And this card, it really spoke to me as I was shuffling. And this is the Nine of Wands. This is fire energy. So, and this might resonate more with the fire signs, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior. It's someone who has been through a lot of stuff. And also Nine of Wands can be about putting up blocks and things of that nature. But for this particular deck, it has something written at the bottom as to what their interpretation is. Their, I guess you could say, broad interpretation. Because all of the tarot cards can have many different interpretations when it comes to the cards. Just keep that in mind. But what it says is, protect what you have created. Be prepared. Never give up. Ask your angels for help. Environmental activism and animal rights. So this is one of the things that may be happening in 2022 when it comes to the collective. Another thing that I was picking up in regards to 2022 was a lot of official institutions and also the Hierophant energy. So, which is, the Hierophant is Taurus energy. Some people may be seeking out counselors in 2022, whether it is a psychologist, psychiatrist, some type of help, marriage counselor. Also, I was picking up marriage as well in 2022. Also, a lot of people will be tapping into their faith in 2022 as a collective. A lot of people will be coming, I don't want to say coming back are coming home to. It's going to be a thing of where if someone wasn't as open-minded about religion before, they might be a little bit open-minded now. You might be one of those people that happens to in the year of 2022. Just keep in mind, 2022, again, like I mentioned before, if you listen to my podcast, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform, if you listen to my podcast, I've already been talking about this, where things will start to balance out in 2022. So, one of those things about balancing out is faith, where people are figuring out where they stand on things or how they feel about religion. Some people may pursue Christianity, some people may pursue Islam, some people may pursue Buddhism, Hinduism, whatever. Pick your religion. Some people may be like, you know what, I don't want to pick a specific religion, I'm just spiritual and I'm getting closer with the divine, which is totally fine. Regardless of what your affiliation is when it comes to religion, you are looking to get closer with the light, the source, the one, the divine, God, goddess, whatever you want to call it, Allah, Yahweh, Jehovah. In 2022, that is going to be a huge thing for people because that was coming out a lot. Also, with balancing things out, and that might be why I was picking up marriage too. Some people may be looking at marriage from a stability point of view where they're saying, okay, I know if I get married, this may bring more stability into my life. Which, and again, we all have free will. You can do what you want to do. This is just my opinion, and that's it. When it comes to marriage, being married doesn't always guarantee stability. I need to be clear on that for those who are listening to my podcast and for those who are watching this video. Being married doesn't guarantee stability. The person that you're marrying makes a difference. You can't just say, oh, well, marriage should bring stability. Let me settle down with the first person who's willing to marry me. You don't want to be in that mindset. You want to be in the equal, because that's what the 6 is about, at least in the tarot deck. It's about doing what's right for you, whether it's 6 of Swords, moving away from a bad situation, 6 of Pentacles, equal give and take, charity, 6 of Wands, victory, recognition, 6 of Cups, nostalgia, happiness, joy. You want to bring in those things that are right for you. That is what you want to do. You don't want it to be a thing of, oh, I'm doing this because I'm under the impression that it will bring all of this other stuff, but then you find out later that you married the devil. And if you married the devil, you're not going to have stability. That's not going to happen. The devil's not going to bring you stability. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So the other thing that came with this energy too, as well, when I was doing the pre-shuffle, is don't get hung up on a specific thing. And what I mean by that is, I don't want to say don't be stubborn. It's just, don't have it in your mind that something has to be done a certain way. And if it doesn't happen the way you envisioned it, or if it isn't done exactly how you were looking for it to be done, then don't discard what is around you. Because the universe may be in the process of bringing you something and you're not seeing it because you're hung up on, oh, it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. So you don't want to get hung up in that. You don't want to be stuck in that energy. Or it's a thing of, and this is just an example. let's say that for 2022, your goal is to get a car. And you have your heart set on a car, a specific car. Mind you, you don't have a car right now. And your goal is to get a car, and you have your heart set on a specific car. Let's just say for kicks, a Toyota Camry. All right. But when you get to the car lot, and you've went through several car lots and shopped around and done this, and they've ran the numbers and checked with the finance companies and all this other stuff, or either if you're paying cash and doing this and doing that, you found out that, well, I can't really get the Camry I want. The only thing I can get is a Toyota Corolla, or the only thing I can get is a Ford Fusion, or the only thing I can get is a Volkswagen Jetta, or something like that. But in your mind, you're like, no. The car I have to have is the Camry. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you need a car for 2022, and like I said, this is just an example. If you need a car for 2022, if the Corolla or the Jetta or the Ford Fusion gets you to the same place as the Toyota Camry, why does it matter? And the universe is saying, hey, I have this Corolla here for you, or hey, I have this Volkswagen Jetta here for you. And it may be a thing of, it's temporary. You may only have it for a year. The universe might be like, hey, you're just going to have it for a year. After a year, you can just trade it in and get a Camry if you want to get it. Because after you make your payments and do all that stuff, obviously it helps build your credit. And for those paying cash, it's whatever. But the point is that if the universe is bringing you something that will fix your situation, it may not be what you want, but it will be what you need. You need a car. You can't be like, oh, well, if I can't have a Camry, I'm not going to get a car. No. You don't want to be in that mindset. And I'm just using that as an example. It could be the same thing with dating. You could say, oh, well, I'm not dating somebody under 5'8", or I'm not dating somebody over 6'3", or I'm not dating someone who doesn't have a white collar job, or I'm not dating someone who doesn't have a blue collar job, or, pick whatever you want to pick. And the universe sends you what you need. You say that you will only date someone that has a blue collar job, but then you meet a successful attorney who treats you like gold and shows an interest in you. And you're like, look, I'm not dating an attorney. He probably doesn't even know how to change a tire type thing. And you're in that energy when the universe sent you something good. And I'm not saying settle. I'm saying don't be so set on a certain thing. Don't be so set on it. Just be a little bit open. Be a little bit flexible. Again, I'm not saying settle. Because if you settle for something, that can lead to issues later. In certain situations. It's on a case-by-case type thing. And to each his own. For that. But at least do a pros and cons. That's what I'm saying. That's it. At least do a pros and cons. That's all I'm saying. Do a pros and cons when it comes to that. All right. So I'm doing the Angel Wisdom Tarot. I'm doing the Angels of Atlantis Oracle deck. I'm doing the Kipper deck and the Divine Doors as well. And I have my Clarification deck, which is the Essential Tarot. Is one of my favorite decks, the Essential Tarot. So yeah, let's get started for the Oracle. So for Angels of Atlantis, what is the message that the collective needs to hear for the energy of 2022? What is the message that the collective needs to hear Oh, these, hold on now. My card, this deck's a little bit different. There we go. For the message of 2022. Let me split these. What is the message the collective needs to hear? This seemed like it didn't want to go back in. I almost want to take it. If it's meant for it to come out, it will come out. What is the message the collective needs to hear? What is the message the collective needs to hear for 2020? Okay. Intention. So, Angel Sandalphon. So let me go ahead and read this right quick. Get to my S's. I feel that it's better to read it. All right, intention. It says, drawing this card means Sandalphon is asking you to make a list of your many expectations, as these are the seeds of your intentions. Thought creates reality. And so by revealing this card, you are being asked to truly specify what you intend and to place a purpose to that intention. From clearly defined purpose, your experience is wrought. The angels want you to experience love, joy, and success. Therefore, visualize yourself and your intimates in gratitude, joyously experiencing the outcome of your intention. This is the kernel from which abundance grows. So for that, and it says, chant hey in praise of the joy that you feel. So this is more on the laws of attraction, is what this is for. They say it isn't just enough to say, oh, well, I'm thinking about this. It's more of think about it as if you already have it and you're already giving thanks for it. Think about it. It's like you're visualizing it. You know, let's go back to the car example because that's the easiest one. Let's say you want the Toyota Camry. You're setting that intention. One thing you may want to do is start test driving Toyota Camrys. And imagine yourself already having it. Imagine yourself driving it. Imagine yourself being inside of it. In doing that, that's what a lot of people do sometimes who deal with the law of attraction and manifestation. They start acting out. I forgot who it was, but one guy said he would go to the Lamborghini dealership and he would test drive the Lamborghini, even though he didn't have the money for the Lamborghini. But he would test drive the Lamborghini. And that's what he set his intention on. And eventually he was able to buy the Lamborghini. And not saying that you're going to have a Lamborghini tomorrow. Manifestation and stuff, it doesn't always work like that. It's deeper than that. What this card is saying, though, is that you need to have an intention. So when you go into 2022, as you're thinking about this, because we're in October right now, about to go into November. So you have November and December. You have 2 months, if you're watching this within that time frame, to set your intention for 2022. You have 2 months to do that. If you want a new job, if you don't like the job that you have and you want a new job in 2022, set the intention. Start thinking about, okay, well, what is it you would like to do? Saying that you want a new job isn't enough. That's not going to cut it. What type of job would you like? If you don't know what type of job you would like, then at least set the intention of, okay, Divine, I'm not sure exactly what I want to do. What I do know is the job for me is the job that brings me happiness. And I'm thankful that you're bringing the job that brings me happiness to me. is what you're doing. You're setting the intention. If you want to start a family, if you want to get married, if you want to move, if you want to go back to school, whatever it is that is on your heart that calls to you, this is telling you now, set the intention. You have to set the intention because, how can I say this? Okay, Divine, Universe, I need some words here because I know what I want to say. I just don't know how to articulate it. If you could imagine, you know how in some of those movies sometimes, like the comedies and stuff, where they're in the canoe and they lose the paddle that they use to guide themselves while they're in the canoe or in the life raft, but not really the life raft. I'll say the canoe. It's almost like you're in the canoe and you know where you want to go, but you're not doing anything to get there. The paddle that you use to move you in certain directions, the paddle is the intention. That's the intention. If you're in the canoe without a paddle, then you're just going to get thrown whichever way the water goes. You're not going to go to where you would like to go to without a paddle to help navigate where you're going. You're just going wherever the wind and the water takes you. You need the paddle to help navigate and guide you to the location that you want to go to. You have to set the intention. That's what this is. That's what this is telling people to do. Anybody who's listening to this on my podcast, anyone who's watching this video, and that this is resonating with you. And when it comes to these things with tarot card readings, whether it's for the collective, whether it's for an individual, whether it's for a sign, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it's not your story, don't try to make it fit. If this is resonating with you, this is letting you know you need to set your intention. You need to let the universe know this is the direction I would like to go in. Can you get me there? If I don't go in that direction, can you at least get me to the location? Because sometimes the universe does what it does. You might have a route all picked out to get to the location, and the universe is like, nope, I'm not, that route, it's not going to work. I'd rather you take this route instead. And the universe is known for doing that. So keep that in mind too. But at least know the location you would like to get to. You have to set the intention. So that is the message for the collective for 2022. Set your intention. And embrace it as if you've already received it. Give thanks for it as if you've already received it. It's almost like New Year's resolutions, except for this, I feel this is deeper than a New Year's resolution. New Year's resolution is like a checklist, is what that's like. Setting your intention is more like your ascension list, in my mind. When you're setting your intention, you're setting something to help you ascend to the next level, to help you level up, is what you're doing. All right, so let's go ahead. I will pull a card for each month. I'll do one more shuffle right quick. I'm going to pull a card for each month. So we'll start with January and we'll work our way through. And then I will pull from the Kipper deck. I'll pull 4 cards from the Kipper deck just to see some of the things that you might need to know about. And then I'll pull the Divine Doors. I'll pull 2 cards from the Divine Doors is what I'll do. All right, may I have the energy for January, please? May I have the energy for January? This table is so high up right now. May I have the energy for January, please? May I have a card for the message for January? Thank you. That one wanted to jump out. Okay. Thank you. May I have a card for February, please? I'm taking this one. Wow. Okay. That's 2 major arcanas in a row. Not only that, that is Aquarius, too. Something told me to take that card. So yeah, something's going on in February, too. So Aquarius, you might have some stuff going on, too. For the sign of Cancer, you might have some stuff going on in January. Just a heads up. This one doesn't want to go back in. That's March. May I have April, please? May I have a card for the message of April, please? Something just said to me for Aquarius, for you, if anybody's an Aquarius listening to this, you are about to be, even though we've entered the age of Aquarius already, you're about to enter a whole new level of enlightenment when you hit your birthday this year. So for Aquarius, just a heads up, you're going to hit a whole new level of enlightenment, a lot of you, when you hit your birthday this year. May I have April, please? May I have a card for the message of April? This does not want to go back in. Okay, so what's here? That one. May I have a card for the message? Whoa, okay, thank you. That just jumped out. All right, that's May. May I have a card for June? Message for June. May I have a June card, please? That one seemed like it wanted to jump out, but I'm not taking it. May I have a card for June, please? Thank you. Nice. Okay. Actually, let's set these to here, 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 here. May I have July? Okay. Thank you. Wow. Okay. And that jumped out. So July is going to be interesting. Okay, thank you. 2 jumped out. Whoa. Okay. What? Okay, those meant to come out. They were meant to come out together. Okay, yeah. I'm going to take these 2 as one. So August. May I have some? Thank you. Thank you. Huh. That's interesting. All right. I'm taking these together. as well. I have November. I have, we're at 30 minutes already. Wow. Not sure we're going to make it less than an hour, but it's all good. May I have November, please? That makes sense. Because that's Scorpio season. Okay. And then December. I told you cannot make this up. And then December. And then two major arcanas. Balance and wise counselor. And what I tell you about religion. Wise counselor. And then balance. What did I tell you? Okay. So let me set these here. We have a lot of major arcanas here. Is what we have. So, and it's funny because December with balance, this is the temperance card in this deck. This is temperance. And temperance is Sagittarius, which is December. So, yeah, this just got interesting. All right, and then I want to take 4 cards from the Kipper deck. And the reason I'm taking 4 is because 4 is one of my favorite numbers. My favorite number is 8, but 4 is one of my favorite numbers. And I just want to pull 4 cards to see if there's any messages throughout the year. Thank you. May I have 3 more, please, for 2022? Thank you. Okay, I'll tell you in a minute. I'll tell you in a minute. Someone's definitely getting married in 2022. Definitely getting married. Like, for real, in 2022. Thank you. Nice. All right. May I have 1 more card, please? That one wanted to jump out. I'm taking it. Yep. And that's why. Okay. There's that one. And then I want to take 2 door to value card. Not door to value. Door to value is on my... And that must be why I was thinking door to value earlier. You know when it's... This is called, for those who are watching... the Divine Doors deck, you can see that I'm showing it to you for my listeners. It's called the Divine Doors. But when I was saying the name at the very beginning, I wanted to say Door to Value. That is a card in a totally different Oracle deck where someone is about to come into some money. And the crazy thing is that when I pulled 4 cards from the Kipper deck, 2 of the cards, sudden wealth and gift. So that's probably why door to value was on my mind. Sudden wealth and gift. So yeah, that's interesting. But let me pull 2 divine doors right quick. And do that. All right, may I have 2 Divine Door cards, please? 2022 energy. Thank you. Nice. Matt, whoa, that jumped out. Okay. Okay. So we have these. All right. Let's get started. For the month of January, you have the Chariot. Chariot is Cancerian energy. Chariot is a victory card, is what it is. So, and also Chariot is not letting anything get in your way. So this is letting me know on the collective level that a lot of people will start off January strong, which makes sense because people, hold on, I got to turn this AC on. Let's get this going because it's starting to get hot in here. Every time I start talking, it always starts to get hot for some reason. I need to take a sip of water too. But usually in January, people start off strong. Like they have their New Year's resolutions list. Hold on. Okay, had to get some water. They have their New Year's resolution list. They're like, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to lose 15 pounds. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And all this other stuff. And they start off strong. And this is actually a good sign because like I said, not only is it about moving forward and not letting anything get in your way, it's also a victory card. So at the bottom of the card, it says, rewards that come from hard work, successfully balancing many priorities at once, determination and willpower, public recognition. So some of you might be publicly recognized in the month of January. And this might resonate more with the sign of Cancer. And it's kind of interesting because January is Capricorn season. And Capricorn and Cancer are polar opposites of each other. Cancer is the mother of the zodiac. Capricorn is the father of the zodiac, is what it is. Now, following the next month in February, the star. The star is about healing. The star is about faith. It's about renewal. Remember what I was talking about earlier at the beginning of this for 2022. A lot of people are going back to their faith, is what they are doing. And for some of you, you will be in this healing process. Some of you just need to have faith. Just as it says on this card, have faith. The future is bright. Dreams come true. Positive changes that bring an end to challenging times. The light at the end of the tunnel. That's what the star is about. And to go back to my boat reference as well, the canoe thing, let's just talk about ships in general. Have you heard of the North Star? So for that, I honestly believe that for some of you, you will, by the time February rolls around, if you don't have your bearings all the way, you will start to get them because you will feel guided in some way. And especially for those with the sign of Aquarius, I really feel like the people with the sign of Aquarius, you Aquarians, you're about to have some type of epiphany around your birthday. Like it's something, this particular February and also part of January, because Aquarius is the last week of January as well. This particular time period during Aquarius season is really going to hit, I believe it's going to hit the Aquarians a little bit harder than everyone else in a good way on leveling up, having faith, tuning into their spiritual side, and ascending as well, which Aquarians are pretty open-minded. They're a pretty open-minded sign anyway, because I know a lot of Aquarians, as you know if you listen to my podcast. So they're very much into entertaining different opinions, alternate opinions, and going with that. And I really feel like this will be on steroids when their birthday rolls around. As for non-Aquarian people, I honestly feel that on the collective level, going back to what I said, is that a lot of people are going back to their faith. They're tuning into their faith. So as people are moving forward, as people are gaining confidence in January, they will also have more direction because the Chariot is going somewhere. Don't forget the Chariot. If you see, for those watching, you see the black horse and the white horse. They're opposites. The person controlling the Chariot has to manage two opposites and get them to go in the right direction at the same time. And mind you, they're opposites. So it takes a lot to wrangle these two horses because one horse wants to go left, the other horse wants to go right. And the driver, which is the angel in this case, wants the horses to go straight. And it takes a lot of willpower, which is what the Chariot is about. It takes a lot of determination. It takes a lot of skill, which is one reason why there could be some type of public recognition, because somebody sees your skill on how to manage certain situations if you're on the job, and they see how well you manage things where there's chaos around you. They're like, wow, they do it so well. They make it look so easy. And for this, with the Chariot, you're moving in a direction, but some of you may not know the location just yet. In February, that's where the star comes in. Now, in March, this is the Two of Wands. It says, taking the next steps, bold and ambitious choices, partnering with others who share your dreams, expanding your plans, continue to move forward. You notice how there's a lot of forward movement in this? Remember what I said, things are balancing out. So if things have felt stagnant in 2021, if you felt, which they should be moving right now anyway, because Mercury just came out of retrograde. We just had a full moon in Aries back on October the 20th. And then Jupiter came out of retrograde. And there was another planet that came out of retrograde too. I forgot which one it was. I feel like there were about 3 planets, 3 or 4 that came out of retrograde. But regardless, if you felt that there was some type of stagnation in these months moving forward, as long as you are determined, because again, the Chariot, you have to be determined. You have to have willpower. Going back to the Nine of Wands, what I said earlier, you have to be willing to stand your ground. You have to be willing to take the hits. You can't expect it to just come to you. Back to what I said earlier with the Angel Oracle card, intention. You have to set the intention. As long as all of those wheels are turning, you're moving forward. The energy is moving forward. The energy is in your favor, is what it's doing. And the Two of Wands is fire energy, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. In April, this is the Seven of Cups. This is water energy. For this, it says, make a choice. Stop procrastinating and overanalyzing. Get clarity on what you desire and move forward. Too many options, addictions. That is the way that this card in this deck is talking about the Seven of Cups is one way of it. The other way of it with the Seven of Cups is in interpreting it, is that the many options thing. Sometimes you can have so many options that it throws you off. At the same time, I'm looking at this as you've been putting in the work. Now you are starting to see options. Options are in front of you because you've been putting in the work. Where things were stagnant and you didn't have any options, now you might have 7 options. Now, with all of the options, as I always say, not everything that glitters is gold. Smell the perfume, don't drink it. Pretty is as pretty does, and sometimes pretty can be pretty ugly. So always use discernment when selecting your options. Be selective, but don't analyze it so much where you have analysis paralysis. Keep that in mind. All right. For the month of, April, for the month of May, I was thrown off for a second. For the month of May, you have the Five of Swords. This is air energy. Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. So in the month of May, there may be something happening with a lot of communication. So keep that in mind too. Don't forget, Seven of Cups, water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Five of Swords is air energy. So for the Five of Swords, it says, an unwise choice. What did I just say? With that Seven of Cups. What did I just say? Not everything that glitters is gold. Smell the perfume, don't drink it. Pretty is as pretty does, and sometimes pretty can be pretty ugly. Use discernment. Five of Swords, an unwise choice. There's a better way that will make you happier. Avoid people who lack integrity or who have questionable motives. Now, I'm going to circle back on this card, the Two of Wands, where it was saying where partnering with others. Be careful of the company you keep in 2022. That's the energy I'm picking up. Because all of that flowed together. With the Two of Wands, with the Seven of Cups, with the Five of Swords. Be careful of the company you keep in 2022. If your spidey sense is going off, don't ignore it. Don't feel like, oh, well, things will work out. Things should be fine. Blah, 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 blah. Don't ignore that. If your spidey sense is going off, sometimes you might need to step away and separate yourself and do that. Because you may make an unwise choice that puts you in a bad situation. In this particular situation, it looks like there's a gambling thing going on here as well. So maybe some of you might be dealing with gambling in 2022. I'm not really picking up that energy. But what I am picking up is something told me to tell you, be careful who you deal with. Be careful who you associate with in 2022. Because the wrong person could block your blessing. The wrong person could block your victory. The wrong person could keep you from moving forward. The wrong person could block your healing. So just keep that in mind when I'm talking about that. In the month of June, we have the Page of Cups or Princess of Cups. And it says sensitive, open-hearted, inexperienced, moody. Messages regarding relationships, new emotional experiences, a romantic encounter, social invitations or events, heightened psychic abilities. So, and it's interesting that this is in June, which is Gemini month, but at the end of June, of course, is Cancer season starts. So keep that in mind too. Some of you might be entertaining going out more. And again, some of you might be entertaining going back to the marriage thing, making an offer to someone. Some of you might be proposing in June. Some of you might receive a proposal in June. Something just said to me, someone might want to communicate with you that you haven't communicated in a while with, where they're looking to mend fences too. And it more than likely would be someone from your past. The only reason I'm saying that is because with the six, I think a Six of Cups in my head, and it's usually about someone from the past is what it's about. And I feel like someone you haven't heard from in a while may reach out to you. And that's for some of you. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But don't be surprised if there's some type of offer in June. Also, some of you might be taking a vacation in June. And it's interesting that this had, for the people watching, you can see the dolphin with the mermaid right there with the cup and the water. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody's going to the beach as well. So, throwing that out there. Someone might ask you to go to the beach on a beach retreat or something of that nature. Or, going to the islands or going to a coastal place, whether it's Florida, Texas, the Carolinas, California, you name it, wherever good beaches are at. In doing that. But one thing, and something just said to me, because of the Kipper deck, when I glanced at it, something just said to me, someone may offer to pay for your vacation where you don't have the money, but they contact you and they're like, oh, I'll pay for you. Don't worry about it. Like, you let them know that you don't have the money to go on the vacation. And then they're like, no, don't worry about it. I got you. Type thing. Now, for July, we have the Wheel. I don't know what's happening in July. I don't know what planets will be where in July. But Wheel of Fortune, this is Jupiter. Is what this is. This will be a very good month for some people. Very good things will happen in the month of July for the collective. The energy is there. Because, again, just because the energy is there doesn't always mean someone will take advantage of it. Or that they've been taking advantage of the energies in front of them or available to them. But with the Wheel of Fortune in July, which is also Cancer season. So for some of you who are Cancers, this might resonate with you a little bit too when July rolls around. But what it says on the Wheel of Fortune, a fresh new start or the end of delays, sudden or unexpected progress, a very positive change in your life, travel or a new vehicle. Going back to what I said before, someone might make an offer for you to go on a vacation. I honestly am picking that up. And with the Kipper deck, and I'll go into it in a minute after I finish these, I could see that happening. I honestly feel like this is going to be a proposal. I really, really do. That's the energy I'm picking up due to the cards. Where there are some proposals that will be happening as a result of the things that have happened, or the events. That's the word I'm looking for, events. For the events that have happened throughout 2022 and part of 2021. That's what I'm picking up. A proposal, an actual proposal. Where someone is like, let's go to the chapel. Let's get married. Let's do this. Hell, some of you might be going on your honeymoon or whatever. But I feel there's a lot of wedding energy here. I wish there was some type of website that kept track. Maybe there is, I don't know. That kept track of the marriages every year. I would love, if there was a website that did that, I would love to look back on 2022. If I live to see it, I don't take any day for granted. And I give thanks for every day that I wake up. But if I could look back at 2022 and compare the marriages to 2021 and so on and so forth and see if there was a difference, because I really feel like 2022, there will be a lot of marriages in 2022. Not just people going back to or reconnecting with their faith, but also reconnecting with marriage and settling down and doing that. But for July, the Wheel of Fortune is here. And again, also travel or a vehicle. So for some of you, if you're looking to buy a vehicle, as I mentioned before, in 2022, that may come through in July. Could be sooner, but July might be the month where something happens and you're able to get it then. But the Wheel of Fortune is saying that July, Cancer season, is going to be really good energy based off of this pool. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. August, which is Leo season, two cards came out together. The reason I took them together is because they match. You have the Ten of Pentacles, which is earth energy. You have the Four of Wands, which is fire energy. So you have Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. You have Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Ten of Pentacles is about abundance. It's about stability. Four of Wands is about an upgrade. It is about stability as well. It's about home. It's about family. Just like Ten of Pentacles is about family. I'll read the cards. Four of Wands. So much to celebrate. Send gratitude to the divine and the angels for the peace and prosperity coming to you. Peace and contentment in your personal life. That is what it says on the bottom of the Four of Wands card. On the Ten of Pentacles, financial security for yourself and your family. Inheritance or retirement. Peace and contentment in life. Honoring family traditions. Pride in the family tree. Passing on knowledge. All these two are about family. I told you, some people are settling down in 2022. And you know what? I honestly want to say 2022 is about family. That's what I'm going to title this. I didn't know what I was going to title this, and I'm at 54 minutes already. Yeah, it's not. I'm not going to make it to the hour, so this is only going to be up on YouTube. But for this, and also my podcast, obviously. But all of this is family. Is what I'm picking up. Whether it's marriage, whether it's faith, it's like faith and family is what I'm getting. It's going to be faith and family this year. And also stability, too. Faith, family, stability is what I'm getting. But that's what these two cards represent. This is for the month of August. So during Leo season, I could see some weddings happening. Also for some of you Leos, with the Four of Wands being a fire card, fire energy, for some of you Leos, it wouldn't surprise me if this is resonating with some of you a little bit more than others. So keep that in mind too for August. For September, awakening. This is hangman energy, is what this is. It says a temporary pause for reflection and insight, an awakening where you see things in a whole new light. Embrace your own uniqueness, charitable actions. Now, for some of you, what I can tell you is that when you step into abundance, when you step into stability, you have to approach things differently. You can't do what you once did. You don't have that luxury. It's almost like in one of my daily thoughts, and you can, on my podcast, you can go to it and scroll to it. It's the emperor and the empress can't have relationships with everyone. And it's because of the responsibilities that come with the emperor and the empress. They don't have the luxury to have relationships with every single person that wants to have a relationship with them due to their obligations. My intuition, spirit is telling me that for some of you, as you step into this new life of stability, if you didn't have it, or if you step into this new life of more stability, if you were already stable and now you're being upgraded even more, this new life that you're stepping into, you may not have the luxury to do the things that you once did. And adjusting to that life, you will have to get perspective on things. Hangman energy. This is also Pisces energy. So this is in September. This is Pisces energy. So for Pisces, this might, as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, Jupiter moved into the sign of Pisces recently. So for some of you Pisceans, if you're watching this or listening to this podcast, this will probably resonate with you, where you've already started to notice a change in your life, a change in your stability, a change in how things are happening, how things are moving for you and working out in your favor. If they're not working out in your favor, you need to get into the mindset that they are, so you can invite that energy in and tap into that energy, because it will bring you, one, the Wheel of Fortune, two, stability and family. It'll also bring you healing as well as victory and many other things that I've talked about throughout this yearly reading. So keep that in mind. Now, for October, you have the moon and you have the Three of Pentacles. This is Pisces energy again. And the moon is Pisces energy and Cancer energy. Pentacles, obviously, Earth energy, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. It says the moon, listen to your intuition and pay attention to signs from the divine. Unnecessary worry. Let go of your fears. Revelations that will make everything clear. So again, going back to this Hangman, because Hangman is Pisces energy. You have two Pisces energy cards here. So for some of you Pisceans, you may feel like as you're stepping into this new life, going into the fall, you're looking to figure out how to adjust to things. And it doesn't have to be Pisces, because Pisces could be in your chart. You don't have to be a Pisces sun. For others of you, this may resonate with you as well when the time rolls around, where all of this stuff has happened. You've had all of these victories, all of the stability, all of these options. You have this new life now. And you're adjusting to this new life and these obligations. You may feel that you aren't able to, what's the word I'm looking for? You aren't able to fulfill, thank you. You aren't able to fulfill your new obligations due to your new life is what may be going on. But the moon is saying, don't worry about it. It will all become clear. It may seem a little blurry right now. It may seem a little foggy right now, but it will become clear. The Three of Pentacles came out with this, which is a definite indication that it will become clear. Because the Three of Pentacles says, do what you love. Recognition for the highest quality of work, especially creative endeavors, being paid well for your craft, working well with others, an excellent reputation. So you may find yourself as you go into the fall that you are being recognized, that things are balancing out. Don't forget, October is Libra season. It's about justice. It's about balance. Things are balancing out for you. And you're being recognized for the things that you've been doing. So keep that in mind. Don't be stuck in the mindset of, and something just told me to say, don't feel like you're not enough. Don't feel like you don't deserve it. Okay, how can I explain this? Because it's on my spirit, and clearly I need to tell you, whoever this is resonating with. If you are blessed with something, don't feel like you are undeserving. Because first of all, we're all human. None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. If the universe, the divine, blesses you with something, there was a reason that you were blessed with it. Don't get caught up in, and you know what? That's going back to that energy that I was talking about at the beginning, being stuck in your head on something, seeing something some way, but not seeing the options or the opportunities outside of it. That's coming back to me now. Don't be stuck in that energy on this one thing like, oh my goodness, I received this blessing. And I'm just going to throw it out. Let's say you win the lottery. And I'm not saying you're going to win the lottery. You could. I'm not saying that. I'm just using this as an example. Let's say you win the lottery. And you're like, wow, I've been blessed, but there are so many other people who deserve this outside of me. Why me? Why was I blessed with this? I didn't deserve this. I honestly feel that for some of you, and like I said, it's on my spirit, so I gotta say it. I feel like for some of you, when these blessings come in, you're gonna feel like you don't deserve it. You're gonna feel like so many other people deserve this blessing that are blessings, plural, that you received. That so many other people deserved it. The divine knows exactly what everyone needs. And the divine knows exactly when everyone needs it. Maybe, just maybe, some of those other people that in your mind, in your human mind, that you felt, oh, they needed this blessing more than me. Why did I get it? maybe something's going on in their life where Five of Swords energy, they may have surrounded themselves by people that affect their blessing. And the divine is like, I can't bless them right now because if I do, something's going to happen. It's not going to work out. So they're going to have to wait. So guess what? While they're waiting, guess who's up the bat? You're up the bat. Take this blessing because I'm throwing it at you. Some of that's going on too. So for any of the blessings that you receive in 2022, don't feel guilty about the blessings that you receive. The best thing that you can do, because that goes back to the Six of Pentacles. When things balance out, if you receive, because also Six of Pentacles is about an inheritance. It can be about a sudden cash infusion. It can be about charity. So maybe the divine blessed you because the divine knew that you would bless others and that you would know how to properly bless others. You don't know, but it doesn't help the situation for you to be stuck in this energy of, well, why me? Why did I get the blessing? I didn't deserve the blessing. So many other people deserved it. Don't be stuck in that energy. Get in the energy of, thank you for blessing me and giving me the ability to bless others. Get in that energy. Don't be in the energy of questioning why you. Why did you get the blessing? It's not your place to question. That's not it. That's not your job. Your job is to accept the blessing and to be thankful, be grateful, and then if you're able to bless others with your blessing, then go ahead and do it however it's on your spirit. That's your job. Your job isn't to worry why you. Something told me it was on my spirit, so I had to say it. You know, one of my little rants, I do one from time to time. It is what it is. Okay, so that's for October. For November, it says release. This is the death card, and this is Scorpio energy, and this is during Scorpio season. So some of this might be resonating with some Scorpios. Remember what I was saying earlier, that new life that you're dealing with? This is about removing what doesn't serve you. As your blessings have come in, as your stability has come in, as your life has changed, the things that you used to do, you can't always do anymore. It's not a luxury that you have. Sadly, it is what it is. Which, I know everyone says it, but they say it because it's true. It is what it is. If you win the lottery, and I'm just using that as an example, if you win the lottery, you may not be able to associate with people you once associated with. If you become a judge, you may not be able to associate with people you once associated with. If you work in public office all of a sudden, you may not be able to associate with people, which judge is also public office, but any public office. You may not be able to associate with people you once associated with on a regular. If you become a parent, you may not have the luxury to go out and hang out with friends all the time because obviously your responsibility, because now that things have changed, because don't forget the Four of Wands is here. Don't forget the moon is here. Pregnancy may be happening for somebody. Keep that in mind. Even though the sun hasn't come out, I'll tell you, marriage, pregnancy, duh. So if some of that happens, you'll have to release old habits so you can help the life that you brought into this world, whether you're the mother or whether you're the father. Old habits may have to be let go. Old habits may have to be released in order to accommodate your new life of stability, to accommodate your family, your new family. Now, maybe a group of friends were your family at the time, but now you're married and with a baby on the way or already with children. Now, you have to release certain habits. whether you want to or not, because you have obligations with this new life, with this new ascension, with this leveling up. So let me read the bottom of this. It says release. Endings that lead to new beginnings. The need to release situations or people that hold you back. Spiritual transformation. Remember when I told you at the beginning, I feel like people are going to get closer. Faith, family, stability. Some people where for your faith, and again, you have to do what works best for you. And as I always mentioned before, we're all individuals. What works best for you may not work best for me. And what works best for me may not work best for you. You have to do what works best for you. For whatever faith you decide to go to, if you decide to become a Christian and you have now decided to walk the path of a Christian, there are certain things that you may have to let go of. Yes, we all are a work in progress. However, if you are walking the path of a Christian, you might want to walk the path of a Christian. To each his own. If you decide to become a Muslim, walking the path of a Muslim is totally different from walking the path of a Christian, even though they serve the same God, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. We all serve the same God. Don't get me started. But with that, the things required for that religion, for that faith, the responsibilities, the obligations will be different for that individual. But this is saying, however you are attempting to get closer with the divine spiritually, then you need to let go of whatever you need to let go of to walk down that path that you have chosen, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Islam, whether it's Buddhism, whether it's Hinduism, whether it's Wicca, whether it's whatever. Whatever path you're walking down, you have to be willing to let go of what you need to let go of to walk down that path and get closer with the divine and to ascend and develop yourself better spiritually on a spiritual level. And again, like it said, it can just be letting go of people in general where they don't bring any type of contribution to your life, where they take instead of give. There isn't any balance. Again, 6 is about balance throughout the year. You want things to be balanced. You don't want it to be uneven. It can't be unequally yoked. So that is for November. For December, look how we're wrapping this up. Balance. That's what the card says, which this is temperance. This is the temperance card. And wise counselor. So this is Sagittarius, and these are both major arcanas. And mind you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There were 8 major arcanas in this reading. 8 major arcanas. So this is going to be a major shift in 2022. 8 major arcanas came out during this reading. This is going to be a major, major shift in 2022. But for December, which Sagittarius, this is your card, so this might resonate with you. Balance. Blending the ideas of others with your own to create something extraordinary. Successful compromise. The power of diversity. Self-control. Patience. And balance. Also, something told me to tell you because patience jumped out at me. Some of you are going to need to be patient with yourselves. Don't expect overnight stuff. If you just decided, if you give your heart to Jesus, if you take Jesus into your heart and become a Christian, don't expect to stop cussing people out the next day. You're going to be a work in progress. Now, this is not me rationalizing or excusing behavior outside of Christianity. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is that you are human and don't expect overnight results with what you do. In addition to that, if you take on a new job in 2022, don't expect to know everything on the job in the first day. Don't expect that. There has to be balance. There has to be self-control. If you become a parent in 2022, don't expect to know everything about parenting within 3 months. For those who become parents in 2022, I'm about to give you a news flash. You'll never know everything about parenting. I hate to be that real, but then again, that's just what I am. My podcast is Keeping It Real with KC, and I'm keeping it real with you. You'll never know everything about parenting. Kids do not come with an instruction manual. And every child has their own personality. No matter what you try to teach that child, no matter what you do to protect that child from things or to guide them and all this other stuff, life is life. And life comes at you fast and hard sometimes and crazy. And how people react, only they have control over that. Your child has free will. Keep that in mind. So don't think that, oh, I'm not being a good parent, or oh, this and that. And something just said to me too, going back to that moon thing as well, with the stability of the family and the blessing. On that blessing thing. For those of you who get pregnant too, don't feel bad if you got pregnant and you know someone who is attempting to get pregnant but they haven't had any luck, but you got pregnant. Something just told me to say that. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you get pregnant and you have a friend or a family member or whatever in your circle, in your orbit, that you know is attempting to get pregnant, don't feel bad for them. Their time will come if it is meant to be. I know someone who was attempting to get pregnant and it didn't work out. But later on, it did. It wasn't their time at that time. But now it's happened. So don't feel bad about things like that. And back to the parent thing, don't feel like you will know everything about being a parent overnight. You will never know everything about being a parent. I'm just telling you. You need to I'm setting the expectation. It's not happening. It's not. Kids have free will, just like you have free will. Too many variables. So yeah, but when it comes down to everything in your life, whether it's with family, whether it's with faith, whether it's with work, whether it's with money, whatever it is, it's all about balance in doing that. The card that was with it was Wise Counselor. Again, this is Taurus energy because this is the Hierophant. This says, unity with the spiritually minded community. Ask the divine for help and trust the answers will come. Compare traditional methods with new ideas to see which is best for you. Going back to what I said at the very beginning, because this mentioned ideas and this is talking about ideas. Some of you will need to be open to new ideas, new ways of doing things. Don't get stuck, because don't forget, this is Taurus energy, and Taurians can be stubborn. Earth signs can be very stubborn. But don't get stuck on the idea of doing something a specific way. Don't get stuck on that. The universe may bring a totally different way in for you to do something that will bring balance to your situation that is unbalanced. So keep that in mind too. Now we're going to go to the Kipper deck. The 4 cards that came out, one is main male. So main male. The other one is message. So some of you may be receiving a message, email or whatever. I told you some of you are going to get a marriage proposal. The other one was sudden wealth. So sudden wealth will be happening in 2022 for some people. Could be an inheritance, could be lottery, could be casino, could be whatever. There may be something you win a court case, which also with the Hierophant, that can relate to an official institution. Maybe there's an official institution that may owe you money. And you didn't know they owed you money. And that may come out. Maybe there's going to be a refund on something that you don't know about. Maybe when you file your taxes in 2022, there may be some type of, not exemption, but I guess you could say some type of new tax law on the books, especially with the Hierophant energy. There possibly could be some new type of tax law on the books, or main male, maybe you meet a cool accountant who's really, really good at their stuff, that they do your taxes right and still, they color within the lines because we don't want anybody going to jail. We don't want that. But they do your taxes really good and you get an extra boost. Or maybe you invested some money in something in 2021, but now that investment comes in 2022. You had a feeling about something in 2021. You took a chance and just put your money there and put it away and forgot about it. Because that happens to people. Where they put money somewhere and in like an investment, and it's just like they just throw it to the side, and then all of a sudden, a year or two later or 5 years later, it's like, oh wait, wow, what? Maybe they get a message about that investment. That could be it. In addition to that, the fourth card that came out was gift. So there may be a gift that someone gives you. Again, message. I honestly feel like some of you are going to get an inheritance. With this being message, and it could be from like a relative or something. Doing that. Where it could be that or just someone looking to help. With the main male, message, sudden wealth, gift. Some of you may receive your money through a gift from a male. So keep that in mind for 2022. Others of you, this could all four of these cards could be totally separate from each other. One could just be a message. Like I said, I honestly think there's going to be a lot of marriages happening in 2022. And people who were sitting on the sidelines, they will finally send that message to say, hey, I've been interested in you all this time. And you're like, wait, me? Really? Okay. All right. Something just said to me. I told you I have to tell you what comes to me. Something just said to me, for some of you, take what resonates. The person that you end up getting with, you're not going to know that they have a lot of money. It's going to be where it was a secret. They didn't tell you. You were under the impression that they were just like, either they might have been blue collar or white collar, but you weren't under the impression that they really had money. As in, if they don't want to work, they don't have to work. Where their investments, because usually that's what it is with people who do have a lot of money. Their investments work for them. Because that's the only way to truly become wealthy. You don't become wealthy by working what's known as an earned income. An earned income is when you go and work 40 hours and they pay you for those 40 hours. You don't become that you will never become rich or wealthy off of doing that. And I hate to break it to you, but it's the truth. People usually become wealthy when their money works for them. And for this individual, I feel for some of you, you don't know that this individual has money invested that works for him. Maybe a main male, doesn't have to be him or her, where their money works for them. They don't have to go to a 9-to-5 if they don't want to. If they want to, they could be like, okay, yeah, I do it, but they don't have to. And I honestly feel like it's going to be a surprise. I really, really do for some of you. And you're going to find out and they're going to be like, oh yeah, by the way, and then they spring it on you. So something just said to me, don't be offended if you get asked to sign a prenup as well. So don't be offended if somebody asks you to sign a prenup out in the blue. You're going to be like, prenup? I thought you worked in plumbing. So yeah, it could be one of those situations. But yeah, we have main male, message, sudden wealth, and gift. And for the divine doors, it says, divine guardian, do not be nervous today or tonight. The path you are on will lead you just right. That's what this card says. The other divine door card says, palmistry, future and tarot, collective destiny. The palm lines from birth tell your sacred palmistry. So some of you may want to consider getting a palm reading. I know you're watching this or listening to this tarot card reading for the collective. But if you know someone that you may trust, or if you can get a good recommendation, because there are some scammers out there. Keep that in mind too. I don't know how to read palms. That wouldn't be a bad thing to learn though. Maybe some of you want to learn palm reading. Because also with the Hierophant here, too, with the Hierophant coming out twice the way it did, some of you might be thinking about going back to school, like I said before, especially with the Hierophant twice, with official institutions. That may be going on too, as well. Something just said to me that for this sudden wealth thing, when some of you get the money, some of you actually may be going back to school. You're going to use the money and go back to school and do that. Because now you may not have to work as much and then you can study. You're like, okay, I have this little... And I'm not saying, and by sudden wealth, I'm not saying you're about to win Powerball or Mega Millions or whatever tomorrow. What I'm saying is that there may be something that comes along that allows you some breathing room. So you don't have to win millions and millions of dollars to have sudden wealth. And don't forget, wealth is subjective. There are people who may come into $25,000 where that is sudden wealth to them. There are people who may come into $1 million where that is sudden wealth to them. So that can also be subjective. There are people who may have not been doing well on a health level, but now their health is doing really well. Star is also can be about healing, health stuff. So that can be sudden wealth where, because health is wealth. Don't get it twisted. So it could be that. But what I'm saying on the school thing, something may come in where you're like, wow, I just received $20,000 from whatever. That's enough for me to work part-time and go back to school and get my degree that I've always wanted to do. That could be the case, and I'm picking up that energy for some of you. Where some of you, when you get this, you're going to take some of the money and go back to school and do that. And kudos to you if that's on your spirit and that's on your heart to do it. Kudos to you for doing that. And I wish you the best of luck on that. But as for this 2022 reading, like I said before, faith, family, stability. That's what all of this is about. And that's what the focus is going to be. But also it's going to be about choices. As long as you make the right choice, as long as there is balance, you'll be good to go. The wheel will turn in your favor. So that is all I have for the collective for the 2022 reading. Don't forget, I will start doing each sign one by one. It will be exclusive to the podcast only. I rarely record videos anymore. So this is just where I happen to poke my head out and say, okay, here I am. And I'm recording on video. But usually I'm doing my podcast. So, and I will have those uploaded little by little every weekend. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Until next time, thank you and be blessed.